Where are you calling from?
Sam, is that you?
Yes. Is this you?
It is. It is Vito from Maryland.
Vito from Maryland. What's on your mind?
So, one quick thing before I pose my question is, I was seeing in some of the older YouTube videos, there was something I guess you guys were considering doing for a while, and then you dropped it. This thing called My Problems with Sam Cedar. Did you guys give up on that, or?
That may have been a bit of a lark, but if you have a problem with me, we can revise it. We can restart it. So, what is your problem?
No, I just thought it was really funny about. I don't know. You said something that you like cheap cheese, but anyway, I wanted to ask you guys because this anonymous op-ed seems to strike me kind of differently than a lot of the talking points I've heard. The typical going back and forth whether they think this person is, like a patriot or whether he's a coward and I read this thing, and to me, I mean, here's this guy, and basically what he's saying is, yeah, our president's a lunatic, and we have to sort of like pretend we didn't hear him when he told us to assassinate a foreign leader, or we take crap off his desk so we can't see it. Oh, but don't worry because, we've been able to get all kinds of goodies in the meantime, like, tax cuts and, increase in military industrial complex and, deregulation. And by the way, we're going to keep getting these goodies. We thought about the 25th Amendment, but then we thought, we can get all this stuff for our rich corporate friends. We're going to, by the way, keep doing that until this is all over. I mean, I just thought it was from a corruption angle, to me, I don't think this guy comes across as anything but self-serving and,
listen, I totally agree. I will go even further. I'll say there's a couple of things that strike me, and thank you for bringing this up. And you should call back and tell us about the Maryland governor race when we have more time. But I want to discuss this. But thank you for raising it, because this we're talking about, and flash this up on the screen, the headline: I am part of the resistance inside the Trump administration. I work for the president, but like-minded colleagues and I have vowed to thwart parts of his agenda and his worst inclinations. Okay, the biggest problem with this, it seems to me, is this is wholly undemocratic. Let's just start with that. This guy's basically saying we're engaged in a coup. Okay? Because we decide which things that we're going to pursue and which we're not. And even at one point, he goes on, look, many senior officials in his own administration are working diligently from within to frustrate parts of his agenda and his worst inclinations. I would know. I am one of them. We want the administration to succeed and think that many of its policies have already made America safer and more prosperous. But we believe our first duty is to this country, and the president continues to act in a manner that is detrimental to the health of our republic. First of all, who are they to decide what is detrimental to the health of our republic? Because I got news for you. The deregulation that you talk about, the tax cuts, etc., I think that is detrimental to the health of our republic. Trump appointees have vowed to do what we can to preserve our democratic institutions while thwarting Trump's more misguided impulses until he's out of office. Excuse me? This is fundamentally anti-democratic. The root of the problem is the president's amorality. What? Anyone who works with him knows he's not moored to any discernible first principles that guide his decision-making. There's no constitutional provision that the president should be moored to first principles. Although he was elected as a Republican, the president shows little affinity for ideals long espoused by conservatives. So what? So what? Who are you?
I'm gonna address this in a second. But I see you, Shaba, over there telling me what I've been saying about Patrick Little all along. Is that I think he's a fucking Fed. I don't trust anybody in military intelligence. hanging around with them other white nationalists. I mean, people like Brendan O'Connell was asking me, like, do you even think he's a white nationalist? Like, come on, man. All these people, all of them, the only thing they hate about Jews is that they brought black people around them. And so, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. That's the only thing they hate. They don't care about usury or anything else. Maybe the child raping. Yeah, the so-called child raping. I understand the arguments that Handsome Truth makes with, you know, they sucking on penises and that's child raping. But, man, I don't know. That can't be the whole crux of the movement, man. We're trying to get white-collar criminals in jail for white-collar crimes. But, you know what? That takes us in this direction. That takes us towards what's happening today. It takes us towards what's going on with the Trump tards, the QAnon tards. And all they did with this New York Times op-ed was provide the left with a more palatable QAnon. It's just another anonymous person in the middle of the New York Times saying exactly what all the QAnon tards say all along. It basically confirms all their ideas that there is a coup to get Donald Trump, and there needs to be somebody like Donald Trump out there to stop him. So it thrusts Donald Trump into this position of addressing the deep state head on. Saying that it's an actual force. There are people out there that he needs to target. So it basically solidifies the swamp as some separate entity other than Donald Trump himself. So that's dangerous. It's fucking dangerous. It's bad. And I think it's crazy because I said that, what, a year ago? I said when they were started going after Alex Jones and just showing him more often on television was that they were trying to give this man more credibility. They want him to have credibility in the eyes of his supporters. Not his gung-ho supporters, or not his, you know, old-time supporters, the people that know better, but the new supporters, the people who came to Alex Jones since 2015, who sort of, you know, fell off the tail end of the skeptic movement, and they kind of fell into the open arms of anybody that would talk ill will towards anybody that was, you know, anti-SJW. And I did a video a year ago talking about, you know, how the SJWs were a KGB invention starting in the 60s and probably even earlier than that. And when I look at it, you know, as an archetype, it's just a form of egalitarianism or liberalism that, you know, militarism comes on top of. And so I was saying all this last year that they wanted to give Alex Jones more credibility. I did a video about Styx Hexenhammer. It's funny, I'm ironically naked right now. I'm not really naked, you know, I just don't have my shirt on. But in that video where I was talking crap about Styx Hexenhammer, let me see if I can find that video. Where I was like, hey man, they're just trying to give, let me see, I'm gonna find that video. I'm gonna go into my restricted videos and deep dive into where I you know, went and talked about Styx Hexenhammer. Is it in here? No, it's in my creator studio. You guys can't see all the videos I've recorded. I've recorded so many videos that people have just never even seen. Oh, Handsome Truth sent me a shout out. Much love, brother. Yeah, a lot of the GDL people, they don't fuck with me because I'm not a white nationalist. What? You show me anybody looks like me who's a white nationalist. Clayton Bigsby over here, you know? And I say this, that I'm not black, and I don't believe that there are white people. It doesn't mean that I don't think that there is such thing as race. I just think that those two concepts of color are totally erroneous and just bullshit. And people keep on telling me, but Jew is a race. I'm like, yeah, they've been telling you that since they came up with this Jew thing. Those people, before they were called themselves Jews, I don't think they were fucking anything separate from which you and I are. But, you know, there are nationalities. I can't go on a map anywhere and find a goddamn place called black, just as you can't go on anywhere on a map and find a place called white. Therefore, they are not nationalities, those two colors. It's as simple as that. And I always saw Adam Green tweeted something earlier today, and he was like, why can't white people go out and have pride parades? I was like, why do you need to have a fucking pride parade for something you didn't do? Why am I just gonna all of a sudden go out and have a I'm proud to be black parade, or I'm proud to be American parade? What the fuck does that have to? It's not an accomplishment, man. I keep on trying to explain this shit to people, but it just goes over their heads. It's because people, they want to do whatever that it is that they feel like they're denied doing, right? It's like, it's a reverse psychology. If you feel like you're being oppressed somewhere, you know, your recalcitrance is going to kick in. Your I guess angst against authority figures is going to kick in. You're just going to lash out. I'm just like, sometimes that works in the favor of people, the people that want you to lash out, people that want you to respond like that want you to be reactionary. They want you to react a certain way. What David Icke, all these people have been saying for the longest time, the Hegelian dialectic. Oh, look at this. My very first video that I did in March 14th, 2017, before I heard of any Brendan O'Connell, before I heard of Matthew North, or before I heard of anybody, I did a freaking video that no one's seen. Only 271 people even seen this video, called Trump's WikiLeaks Pizzagate, where I broke down everything from how Julian Assange and WikiLeaks is completely controlled opposition. I did a video on, you can check the timestamp, it says right there, published March 2014. I was going into Roy Cohn, the pedophile booby trapper. So I was breaking it all down a long time ago, before I even knew there was other people on YouTube talking about this stuff. Because I was reading about it. I was reading about it in 2015. Who Donald Trump was connected to. It's like, yeah, this guy's straight up mafia. They're putting us into this situation where we got to deal with this mafia leader, and they're gonna sell him as, you know, the leader over this new coming paradigm. I didn't buy it at first. I was like, no fucking way they're gonna get away with this. And then they put him in, and I'm like, okay, here we go. But anyways, what are people saying on the chat? Let me see what the pop out chat is saying. I'm probably pissing off some people. Forton, yeah, shield followers are watching. Xenophobia is an innate human instinct. Sure, xenophobia is great, right? That's great to just be scared of people walking around that don't look like you. I think you're all pussies if you're xenophobic. People that clutch their purses when they see me walking by. Yeah, that's natural response. By all means, clutch your purse, walk across the street. When I see people doing that type of shit, you know what I want to do? I want to bark at their ass to scare them even more. It's like, why are you scared at me? Why are you scared of me? I wasn't going to do anything to you. I wasn't even going to touch you. You're just looking at me all scared like I'm a threatening figure. I want to scare you now. I sense fear in the air when you look like that. So I want to get on your nerves. You know, so I think the people that are xenophobic and just scared of the other, yeah, it might be somewhat of a natural instinct. But at the same time, here in America, you better get over that stuff. If you're scared of somebody and you think that you would be better off if you were in a place where people looked like you, then by all means, go and move. But you don't need to create legislation that treats people differently. You don't need to do that. You don't need to create a functioning layer of laws that deal with people. That's just ridiculous, and it's stupid, and there's no way you could base laws or legislation around that, and you shouldn't even try to, because that's going to lead in bad direction. And people can disagree with me, so that's fine. People are always like, yeah, but I disagree because I've seen so many statistics, and I'm like, all right, well, you're just looking at exactly what they use in that eugenics tree. Let's pull up a nice and clear one. What does it say right there? What's that? Statistics. Yeah, statistics is very great for eugenics. Yeah, we love statistics. It all builds up our great, beautiful self-direction of human evolution. Yeah, that you don't control. You don't control human evolution. This is oligarchical collectivism. That's what it's all for. To make sure you stay in line and you don't come at the upper class. And make sure you go at the bottom, the people you ideologically think are below you. And there's a lot of hillbillies that still believe that, you know, somebody who has about 3 PhDs who's a shade darker than them is still below them somehow. That's just, you know, yeah, that's gonna happen, because people operate on stereotypes. Let's see. I was gonna find this video where I was talking about goddamn Styx Hexenhammer. Let's see, where was it? Because people were calling, saying I look like Styx Hexenhammer. La 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 la. La 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 la. Here's another video I did. It's called Better Call Saul of Tarsus, the Roman Pagan Judeo-Mystic Christianity, aka Humanism. And I break down right there. Only 378 people ever watched that video. It's kind of artistic. I kind of called in a little bit of places, information from here and there, and a lot of people can't wrap their head around it. But when I talk about these people being Romans, I try to like take people back to what it says in the Bible. Look at Saul. Saul. Look at it. Isn't that a great name? Saul. Solomon. Saul. It's a typical Jewish, New Yorker Jewish name, right? Saul. You probably know an old Jewish guy in New York named Saul. But Saul of Tarsus, he became Paul. He changed his name. He changed himself to a white European. He changed his name so he could be part of Rome. Preach Jesus. Preach Jesus to you. So all these people that know about Jesus, you know it through a guy named Saul, who became Paul. Okay, and then there's Peter, who a church was built upon. There's so much stuff missing from that damn Bible that it's amazing that what's left of it still makes some sense. But what's moved or taken out of it is way more important. The mistakes that are made in it is way more important. The printing press that printed the first ones in Europe is way more important than what the contents of the Bible actually says. To me, it's the context of it. Where it was placed at, when it was placed at, and who it was placed by. And that's just something people never get into. But yeah, I'm telling you who you're following, why you're falling into this fat, gigantic Abrahamic trap with these Bibles in Roman pagan Christianity, a lot of you, it's because of Saul of Tarsus. Where the hell is that damn video I did about Styx Hexenhammer? I'm just rambling because I'm tired. I've been up since 3 this morning, and I just was looking at this op-ed thing, and I'm like, wow, this is very interesting what's going on right now. Let's look into it. Where is Styx? Where are you, Styx? There's a video of me that I look like Styx. I'm wearing. There it is. Did Trump sell out?
Warning for all the.
Oh shit, that's loud. And I was dressed like Styx, and I was rambling, and I was fumbling my words, but I was getting at the point that
came up into a head, it actually become capitalist socialism.
Okay. Socialism was funded into existence as the antithesis to capitalism in the dialectic, creating a synthesis that is neither fully capitalist or socialist, but rather defined as the third way, which is sometimes referred to as communitarianism. I just call it the fourth way at this point because that runs parallel to what Dukin is promoting. It's the same thing. He just calls it the fourth way when it's Amitai Etzione's third way. It's not even really Amitai Etzione's invention. He's just promulgating this idea of communitarianism, or just this new wholly found collectivism, racial collectivism, racial pluralism was what they call it. So all these people promoting ethno-nationalism, fighting for their right to be an ethno-state, they're all communitarians. They are all basically becoming Zionists. They don't even realize it. That's why I'm telling you, stop this white pride bullshit. You are falling directly into what they wanted you to do all along. The only thing that runs antithetical to communitarianism, ironically, is straight up Americanism. But it has to be civic nationalism, has to be based around the Constitution. That's the only thing that stands in the way of what these people wanted to achieve, was actually a liberal republic that uses a democratic process. Okay? It's fucked us up to this point, but that's it. The communitarianism route, that's exactly what they want. They want you to be ethno-nationalists. So all these people trying to tell me, Dante, we gotta do the ethno state thing because that's what the Jews are doing. We gotta be like the Jews. We gotta have an ethno state. Like, no, you don't. You gotta show them that's not what you can do. But see, that's the thing. They set up that stupid dialectic for you. They set up this notion of there being an ethno state versus globalism. Okay, that's a false dichotomy. That is not what it is. It's not, there's no split between nationalism and globalism. There's no split between ethno-nationalism and globalism. It's bullshit. Not for anybody using a goddamn computer. If you're using a computer, you're a globalist. Because you're all over the world at that point. You can't get away from it. If you're watching me right now, you're on a globalized system. You're plugged into it, literally. So people are running contradictory to reality at that point. So they know that. So there's only steps to take us towards where they want to go. The people that point out this idea of, these people want money, you're goddamn dumb. These people don't want money. They care about systems. And so you got to approach this thing from the systems analyst point of view, where you're analyzing systems, how systems work together. And you can generalize about the system, so you can say like, okay, there's an egalitarian system, there's a militaristic system, or there's a freaking religious system that combines both of those sometimes. But you still have to think in terms of systems. You can't think in terms of goddamn personalities and tribes and esoteric subjectivism. You can't do that all the time. I mean, it's meaningful, but like people get lost in that shit, and then everything becomes a sea of irrelevance. Everything. If everything's all numbers and you don't know how you're interpreting the numbers, you start doing gematria, then you're lost. You're lost in the sea of irrelevance. I'm not saying that this world isn't spiritual and that you could get some divine inspiration from this stuff, or notice things that are too out of the realm of mundane everyday life to or just can't make sense. I'm not telling you can't have a spiritual experience, but not everything that is happening can be reduced down to numbers that you can understand through the numbers. That's just bullshit. You might as well just leave the numbers out of it and just feel what it is you feel. And so, I don't know. Like, I did some gematria back in the day on my own name. And so, like, my name means Jesus or something. And my kid's name means Jesus, too. It's like, what the? Or it runs parallel with Jesus or something. You think I'm Jesus? You think I'm Jesus? Hell no. But anyways. I'm not even reading your damn comments right now. Hold on. Let me look at what you guys are saying, because I know I piss some people off again. All the stuff I say. What's the matter, Montoya Jew? Caught your tongue. The future is fat. I don't trust Tessarion. Damn, Dante, you wax your chest. I think no. Let's see. I got a chest hair. It's just that it doesn't grow at the top. Maybe it's my Japanese. Same with Jim Mars. Sold the sun. Flaunt that skin. Yeah, Dead Sea Scrolls. What's up? Jesuit shill. Put a shirt on. The family show, not a porno, man. You ladies better get ready. Nip slip. Adam Green's in the house. What's up, Adam Green? Yeah, I was saying something about, that tweet, man, that, the white pride thing. How am I going to join in with the white pride crowd? I'm not going to get accepted into that. And I'm not out here trying to be a hypocrite and start promoting black pride. I don't agree with racial pride. I agree that you have to be proud of things that you do, and that's it. And, stand up for what it is you do, and then your accomplishments. And that's my message. I've been pushing that. That's kind of the whole point of No Race, is push this message of, your accomplishments you be what you're proud of. And yeah, being born to a people or a tribe is not an accomplishment. We shouldn't we shouldn't give that to the Jews. Shouldn't give that to any people that define themselves through some group identity. It's just ridiculous. And so I was like telling this to this guy, Jewish Power and Privilege. I was like, the only way you're gonna stop the Jews from basically, you know, standing on this idea that they're supreme is by saying that nobody can be supreme. You can't be supreme either. I'm not supreme, and therefore you aren't supreme. That's the only way you could do it, because otherwise you'd just be a hypocrite. Well, no, look at the statistics. Statistically, the Asians are doing better. I'm like, you don't even want to get into that fight. Why get into that argument? And then it's all about, then it becomes this competition, a genetic competition that no one's going to win in, and it's just going to end up in eugenics programs. And so some people want that. I sure as hell don't want that. How am I going to get fair if we set up a program that starts saying that, yeah, you know what? I think society would be better without darker people around. You think I'm going to stand for that? I'm going to agree with that system. Hell no. These people are incentivizing me to go into your country and fuck all your women, so my kids don't end up looking like me. That's what you're saying with that system. That's what I told Brandon Martinez. I was like, if you tell me that being black is a societal problem, then by all means, I don't want to be black anymore. I'm going to make sure I find a white woman and impregnate her. I'm going to find all kinds of people that don't look like me and impregnate them. Right? That's what you're forcing onto the people who don't look like you in that system. You're not telling them to, you'll do fine over here in this corner of the earth where there's no crops growing and there's a giant dust bowl. Yeah. You'll do good over there. Bye. Have fun over there in the desert. You'll make something out of it. We'll give you supplies and shit. That's what it sounds like. It's coming from the ethno-nationalists. I went on to a talk, and I talked to this one ethno-nationalist guy, and he's like, yeah, we can give you a reservation like the Indians got. We just put you over here on a reservation. This is a white dude, old white guy. I'm like, that is a solution, man. That's the solution you're giving me, is I should go live on a reservation somewhere, away from the rest of whiter society. Oh man, that's his solution to fight the Jews. Like, you think that's the solution? I'm like, no, that's exactly what these people wanted all along. Look at what, and then people forget about Project Paperclip. They forget about Operation Paperclip. You get all these German Jewish scientists that come over after World War II. Come on! And that's why people say, like, what's his name? There's this one guy, Alex Jones's buddy, he used to come on a lot, and he was predicting all kinds of stuff. He's like a Bible thumping dude, and he was saying, like, yeah, the Nazis won World War II. I'm like, yeah, it's right here. They won. The people lost, but the military-industrial complex behind it won. It completely won. The people at the top, the oligarchs at the top of that system, won World War II. They accomplished what they wanted to accomplish. They set up Israel because that's what they wanted to do. And so these people get what it is they want to do accomplished. Everything is theater. You know, Brendan O'Connell's been saying that. Like, all this shit you see with Donald Trump, a lot of it's theater. A lot of it's theater that these people that are engaged in it are actually, their cognitive dissonance rubs out any like hint that it might be theater that they're involved in. But the people at the top know it's just a damn show. They know it's professional wrestling. Shit, they hired a professional wrestler to go into the press corps yesterday. Alex Jones. He's there. Look at him. Barking at Marco Rubio. Jesus. That was funny, though. I gotta give it to him. That was pretty damn funny. Alex Jones says he had been good at doing that, getting in people's faces and barking at them. I think that's kind of where Chris Dorsey might have got that from too. Because I know Chris Dorsey listened to Alex Jones back in the day. Everybody listened to Alex Jones. Everybody listened to Alex Jones and kept tabs on what that man was saying. So I know Alex Jones was one of the first people to really get out in there and do that interrogative type of journalism. Werner von Braun, Herman Oberth, Arthur Rudolph. Look at that guy. You think that guy's don't got some Ashkenazi in him? Come on. Yeah. CIA recruited Nazis and war criminals to work for the U.S. government. Yeah. And they're eugenicists. And then these people were involved in setting up NASA. Here you go. What are we doing? What's going on in America? Where are we going? We're going in the same direction these people had planned on going before World War II. So people, like, when I point out, like, Albert Pike, and I pointed out, like, the letters to Giuseppe Manzini, you know, I had people throw up to me the Taxiel hoax, and they're saying that that's a hoax. There's no way that they would predict the two world wars and the coming third world war. And I'm just like, well, look at what's happening. I mean, even if it wasn't exactly predicted by this one document, you can at least look at these figures and try to connect the dots. If you're going to say that completely cuts you off from looking into Albert Pike and who Giuseppe Manzini is, then I guess bye. I'm going to go look at this stuff on my own damn time, you know, and just see what Giuseppe Manzini was talking about. And you start listening to this guy, and he was just straight up ethno-nationalist. He promoted ethno-nationalism. And then he talked about, you know, the setting up Russia to take over Europe. Exactly what's happening. So as far as the Taxiel hoax is concerned, I think the Taxiel hoax being a hoax is a hoax. So I think that letter to Giuseppe Manzini from Albert Pike is 100% legit. Yeah, we're getting steered towards the third world war right now. And he talked about releasing the nihilist upon the world, the black-pilled people, the people that just don't care about anything. Well, that's kind of a function of what we see happening with Donald Trump. Donald Trump just produces a lot of, you know, black-pilled people that just like, I don't even know what to do anymore. I don't care. What can I do? It's all bullshit. I don't even know how to stand up to this guy. So, you know, release the nihilist, release the Kraken. That's what they did, man. They got all these people that don't know how to get involved in the political process. They don't want to. They have better things to do. And so you get people like Donald Trump.